We spend an enormous amount of energy trying to micromanage our lives. We optimize our morning routines, chart out our 5-year career paths, and track our daily habits, operating under the assumption that if we plan well enough, we can dictate the future. But reality rarely respects a schedule. A sudden layoff, a market crash, or a health crisis hits, and that meticulously curated plan collapses. When that happens, the mind usually defaults to feeling victimized, entirely trapped by circumstances we never saw coming. So what happens to the human mind when every ounce of that physical agency is violently and completely stripped away? To answer that, we look to a man born at the bottom of the Roman social hierarchy. Epictetus was a slave, owning nothing, not even the legal rights over his own limbs. Yet this man, legally defined as property, designed a psychological framework that allows for internal freedom even under total physical duress. His master was known for his cruelty. On one occasion, he grabbed Epictetus's leg and began violently twisting it toward the breaking point. Under that kind of excruciating trauma, the biological instinct is to scream or thrash wildly in self-preservation. Epictetus did neither. He sat entirely still. In that moment, he was running a real-time mental defense mechanism. We can visualize it as a sorting algorithm. Picture 2 distinct columns, one for everything external and uncontrollable, and another for things internal and controllable. He instantly mapped his situation. His physical body, his master's actions, and the blinding pain itself were classified as external facts. They belonged securely in the "not in my control" column. Then he isolated his reasoning. His emotional response and his conscious focus were strictly internal. These remained entirely his to govern. Looking calmly at his master, Epictetus simply stated, "You will break it," and a moment later, the bone snapped. Epictetus didn't cry out. He just looked down, then added, "Didn't I tell you?" The injury was permanent, and Epictetus walked with a limp for the rest of his life. By refusing to break emotionally along with the bone, he demonstrated that his character was beyond the reach of physical ownership. Epictetus was eventually granted his physical freedom. He left Rome, set up a small school in Greece, and used the trauma he had endured to become a highly influential teacher. His doctrine was simple. True freedom is found exclusively in managing the internal bucket while surrendering the desire to fight the external one. Managing the internal state strips the external world of its leverage. It creates a psychological barrier that prevents outside events from defining one's emotional reality. Centuries later, those exact teachings reached a man who held unrivaled status. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor, exercising command over millions. Yet, facing the pressures of barbarian wars, plague, and political betrayal, the emperor survived the weight of his throne by studying the private teachings of a crippled former slave. The man sitting at the peak of the global hierarchy relied on the same mental sorting algorithm as the man who had started in the depths of slavery. He used his authority to command his own mind amidst the chaos. The lesson Epictetus left behind is specific. Freedom begins the moment you permanently surrender the fight to control the uncontrollable external world. But what happens when that external world takes everything you own? Next time, we'll look at a man whose entire livelihood was swallowed by a shipwreck, dragging his wealth to the bottom of the ocean and leaving him with nothing but a choice.